Thanks for joining us. State investigators are looking into an officer-involved shooting that occurred Wednesday night in Brooklyn Center, in which police shot a man wielding a chainsaw. Kevin Miller spoke with neighbors and has more on what happened.
Emily, it happened just behind me on a normally quiet block off 63rd and Xerxes.
So I came out and I stood at the end of my driveway just to see where all the commotion was down the street, and it was halfway down the block where you're seeing a whole bunch of police cars, the fire truck, the ambulance.
Brooklyn Center police say they were sent to a domestic dispute here at about 10:30 p.m.
They kind of asked me if I didn't mind going back in the house because they wanted to secure the area a little bit more.
Stanley McGee lives just down the street.
Very quiet neighborhood, so it's a little offsetting because we're not accustomed or used to, having police cars and wake up in the morning time and they got the police tape from the corner all the way down.
The heavy police presence came as 911 callers reported that someone inside was armed with knives.
I kind of figured one day something like that might happen, being a halfway house, but normally they're chill out and, they don't, come down this way.
Things were anything but chilled out as crisis negotiators arrived on the scene. When police told the suspect he was about to be arrested, police say he rushed them.
We heard a gentleman say, "I can't believe that he had a chainsaw." So then I really got concerned because then I started hearing more sirens and everything like that.
Police fired pepper balls and other less lethal rounds on the chainsaw-wielding suspect, but that wasn't enough to stop him.
All of a sudden I heard boom, 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 boom. I thought there were gunshots, but at the time they were actually the flash bombs because when I heard the gunshots, that's when it was more rapid, like pop, 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 pop. Police say the officers involved were placed on critical incident leave and the suspect is in the hospital, but in stable condition. In Brooklyn Center, Kevin Miller, CCX News.
A highly visible area of Plymouth will undergo significant changes in 2 weeks. The former Red Roof Inn Hotel near the intersection of Highway 55 and Interstate 494 will be torn down. The City Council approved a $280,000 contract for demolition work. It's expected to start in 2 weeks and be completed by the end of July. The City of Plymouth originally spent $4.5 million to buy the property. Plans for the site include a possible Metro Transit park and ride that would provide service between Plymouth and downtown Minneapolis. A Brooklyn Center woman is celebrating a crowning achievement, and now she hopes to inspire others.
This crown and sash means responsibility, making sure I show a good face to all those young kids out there and being a good role model out there for all those girls.
That is Jalen Brown, the newly crowned Miss Juneteenth, Minnesota. The Brooklyn Center resident earned the title last weekend. Prior to the pageant, Brown and more than 30 other contestants took part in workshops to learn life skills, financial literacy, how to walk in heels, and the historical significance of Juneteenth. Brown says the experience helped her create a special bond with the other young women.
Literally, out of this whole experience, I was able to create sisters and make sisters. Literally after this, I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, I think I adopted some sisters into this pageant, and I just want to let you know you have more kids now."
Contestants were judged on categories such as opening number, evening gown, and onstage question and answer. A World War II veteran in Plymouth has lived a colorful life. Now he's celebrating 100 years of it. Today we introduce you to Rick Peterson.
Well, that brings back memories.
Much of Rick Peterson's life is documented in photographs.
I knew I was doing something worthwhile,
Some of those photos come from his time in World War II, where he served in the Navy. That was years before he met his wife, Janet.
I was thinking when I was 25, that's 75 years ago. Oh my gosh, that blows me away.
When Rick was 19, he earned a Purple Heart after Iwo Jima.
Shot my foot right off. I reached over and picked it up off the ground.
But if you'd been laying the other way?
It blew my head off. So I was very fortunate to live through that.
Now he's 100 years old.
Oh, and then I like this picture.
His age and prosthetic foot is something you would never know looking at him. His service is a small part of his story.
Oh yeah, I love baseball. That was fun.
Over 55 years, he and Janet built a life with his family in Plymouth, next to neighbors who kept them there.
We're such a wonderful neighborhood, they couldn't leave.
Neighbors who became friends. They traveled together regionally and internationally.
We've traveled to Europe with them a couple times too. So Norway, we're both got roots in Norway, and So it's been just good experiences together.
Though those travels are behind him, he still meets these friends at the bar every week.
He doesn't do anything to make you mad. So it's awful easy to make friends.
They also stayed because of their church.
Just found him to be just a most wonderful person, friendly, family man, loved the church, did a lot of things for church.
To celebrate 100 years, Rick's friends, both old and new, came to celebrate at the church. They said he talked to every guest.
They have a party for me. I wouldn't want to leave anybody out for not at least thanking them.
Rick's legacy never leaves anyone out. When I asked Rick what helped him get to 100, he said he has lots of love in his life and he stays out of trouble. Summer camp in Robbinsdale had an interesting twist Thursday. I put these kids up to a task. Try being a reporter.
Her name is Iris. She is 9 years old and she hates pickles.
Hates pickles, and announcing that with a CCX News mic. I got to visit with students at the Birdtown Blast summer camp. They learned about news, and I offered a challenge. They had to tell us the facts while cameras were rolling.
Hello, my name is River. Welcome to CCX News. A couple days ago, my cat was sitting up in the window, and he spotted a cat weighing on the sidewalk, and he was making like the weirdest noise I've ever heard, like, and I'm like, this is so weird.
Great report, River, and thank you to the city of Robbinsdale for inviting us.